Okay, a tiny disclaimer just for Nico. I'm glad that we're hosted by psychiatrists. I'm an ADHD, so somebody has to take me off the stage. Otherwise, I will continue for the whole day. So, this is to save your time. Well, I've got a little bit of a story to share with you at the beginning, before starting off. It's a personal story about one of my brightest team members. It is like 10 years ago. She came to me with a request that took me by surprise. She wanted to take on a task. This is really boring, silly. For me, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be looking for that. Even the guy responsible for the task would trade it off for nothing. I was surprised because she was responsible for L&D, and she was doing really, really good. She's on the fast track of becoming the L&D manager, and she was doing very, very good, getting bonus, well paid, relatively well paid, because it might be different from place to another. And the task is in the compensation and benefits. And it's not related to her career. It doesn't add anything for her. She's not going to be recognized. She's not going to be getting any increase or anything. She wants a task that is really lingering and failing. And I was curious to know why. And she said, I have a plan. I can do it. The task is around discount benefits. So for people who are working compensation benefits, this is not a big task. We've been launching total reward strategy, and we have lots of job evaluation, grading, and this bread and butter of compensation benefits. This is not a really important task, and we were failing at this. It's a cold calling on shops, begging for exclusive discount for our employees and our students. I know, but it's a kind of a sales task, not an HR task. And for me, this is not interesting. As a manager, I was able to accept failure because I wouldn't do this task. It's really silly, and it was not working. She said, I have a plan. I know how to do it. Okay, she insisted. I approved. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. It's for her motivation, and probably we get fresh thoughts for the task. You know what happened? She transformed the task from a silly, boring, dozy task to a very dynamic, income-generating, very, very effective task. She created a department based on this. She used her strengths in L&D, in events management, and created a series of events for the whole year, like Mother Day bazaars, Christmas bazaars, and events for employees and stuff like that, and invited those shops and outlets to sign up on an application. It's developed internally, in-house, so they can come and sell the products on our campus. It was a university, so we had 2,000 employees and more than tens of thousands of students. So it's a big opportunity. Okay, she managed to transform the task in terms of the approach. And she started to generate income from sponsorship. And she invited those people to sell on the campus based on two conditions. The first is to give us an exclusive discount for our staff members and for our students. The second is to get a share of their sales. So if they sell, we get a share. If they didn't, we get nothing. So it's a big deal for people and have nothing to lose. A great opportunity to sell for more than 14,000 people. And surprisingly, she generated income. She created jobs for other people. She rewarded interns. It became a successful experience for everyone there. What I liked about this is my role as a leader is nothing. I didn't plan. I didn't control. I didn't set objectives. I didn't guide her. I have no idea how this job can be done. What she has done is completely innovative. And if I try to guide her, I probably have ruined the whole job. This was like an alarming notice for me as a leader. I can recall the famous saying of Steve Jobs that we hire people to tell us what to do, not the other way around. So probably the job of leadership today is not about controlling, staffing, planning, hiring and firing, and this kind of scientific management thing. And that's why I assume nobody of you is driving Black Ford today. Because this kind of invention of management, now it's kind of management, as it's been saying, scientific management, was invented in the 18th century by Frederick Taylor to enhance productivity because production was the name of the game at that time, to enforce consistency and conformity, compliance, discipline and control in stable, simple jobs. These all things are not existing. Probably we're suffering from something else. Look at this kind of statistic. 88% of Fortune 500 companies in 1955 until 2014 have disappeared. They are no longer there. 88%. You know what's more scary? Is it the life expectancy age of Fortune 500 companies declined from 75 years in the last decade to 15 years now. So probably the game is not achieving objectives by the end of the year. It's a game of survival in a world that is hyper-competitive and hyper-connected. So probably we need something else, different from control, from productivity. We might need innovation. Today, innovation is the name of the game, because if the companies, if your business is not innovative enough, if your people are not able to bring in new ideas, new ways of doing things better, they might not have a business in the future. So why probably little tweaks are more important than this continuous innovation and game-changing innovations that companies are doing? Because little tweaks is what people can do on every day, on their daily experience, that becomes a collective power, a collective competitive advantage for your organization that your competitors are not going to imitate. Because your competitors are going to imitate your new products, your new services, new ideas, new discount, this continuous innovation. It's going to be clear, popular, making noise, so they can imitate it in the second day. But this collective power that your employees can create on a daily basis cannot be imitated by your competitors. That's why it's powerful, and that's what we probably need engagement for. Let me ask you a question. If you imagine your organization as an ocean liner, like a big fancy ship in the middle of the ocean, I want to play an important leadership role there. What would be that role? What kind of role on a liner that would be the most important chief leadership role? A captain? Who would agree? The captain. Ah, great. What about the navigator? Who's setting the direction? Okay. Probably helmsman, who's actually controlling the direction. What about engineers who are stoking down fire to provide energy? And what about the social director, who are making sure that everybody is involved, they're communicating, enjoying the experience? And these are all legitimate roles of leadership. But probably there is a neglected role that might eclipse all these leadership roles in terms of importance and influence. The designer. The one who designed this ship and provided all the amenities, all the tools, the technologies, spaces where people can work. Designers have a sweeping impact on all the leadership roles that we have. Sometimes it's fruitless to be a leader in an organization that is poorly designed. And what I like about the designer role of leaders today is that it is collective. Nobody can design an organization. Nobody can design a ship, can design a liner alone. It's a collective effort. Everybody should be involved. But there is a difference between machines and living systems, like your organizations. Machines are designed for once. So once you have a machine, it's designed and you've already got it, you bought it. So this is final, static. In our organization, it's a living system. It has to be redesigned. It's an iterative process. So you need to get people involved. You need to get people to play different roles of leadership. It's like in football, on a football pitch. Who is the leader? The one who is close to the ball. Who can make decisions about getting further? The one who has the ball. So you need to create more leaders. You need to involve people. You need to think of creating an environment where people can grow and find a way to connect their strengths to their jobs. That's probably the essence of leadership today, because the game now is innovation. You want people to bring all the cognitive elements, the emotional elements to work. So you need to influence innovation to create autonomy, purpose. Probably purpose is a little bit trendy now, but I want to share with you an important concept. You've all heard probably about the discussion of the US President Reagan in NASA when he asked the janitor, "What are they doing here?" He said, "I'm putting a man on the moon." That's great. I've never seen it in reality. Probably I was not fortunate enough, but I've seen people motivated by having a purpose because they know the job is important, because there's somebody cares about what they do, because they know that they are making an important job. That's why people would find a purpose when they have high quality jobs. And thanks for AI, they are replacing silly and prescribed jobs today. Well, I can make it clear now that we are moving from a beehive. You know, a beehive, it's a bean in a stalk, am I correct? It's a beehive to a slinky coil organization. So we're moving from stability, certainty, production-driven organizations, discipline, control, conformity, simple jobs, employees like cogs, to an organization that is more agile, more flexible. An organization that is characterized by disruption. So we're disrupting ourselves first and being disrupted in the market with uncertainty. I think we all are uncertain about the future today. We've had many experiences over the past few years, and we're all working in an uncertain jobs. That's not clear like before. Innovative driven, collaborative, flexible, agile. That's how organizations are now. Do you agree on that? Another important question. Are you satisfied with the performance management system? How many of you are satisfied with the current state of performance management systems? Anyone? Clear. You're lucky. You're lucky. So I've spent all my career, almost 20 years, developing performance management systems. I know in every place nobody is happy about it. It's completely notorious because it's based on the scientific management theory. Probably we need to change our approaches to performance management system to ensure that people have a say. What I didn't like, and I always do it in any organization I work with, that we remove evaluation. Nobody should rate anybody in an organization. We all are adults. We all have responsibilities. We can do perfect jobs. There is firing. There is hiring. There are many decisions you can make, but we can take full responsibility for our jobs. Management is an old technology. Management is an old technology. This is a technology from the 18th century. Nobody of us is using any tool from the 18th century today. And it was a fantastic invention for enhancing physical productivity in a stable environment. Today, the most important technology for our workplaces is cognitive and emotional engagement. Probably this will result in improved physical engagement, but the most important thing is how to make sure that people are bringing the whole self to the workplace. They are bringing the whole capacity, ideas. They are emotionally and cognitively engaged so they can become innovative. They can bring all the ideas, all the capacities, all the social capital to your organization and keep doing things better every day. That's a better technology if your organization wants to spur innovation, wants to work in a complex job like what we are having today. But there are many challenges for that. One of these key challenges is that we are confusing engagement with subjective well-being. This is an experiment. Has been done by Daniel Kahneman, the renowned psychologist, the author of Thinking Fast and Slow. And this is a kind of experiment that profiles two groups of people have been exposed to painful colonoscopy, like a painful operation. Group A has been exposed to 8 minutes of high-intensity pain. Group B has been exposed to 24 minutes of pain. What do you expect the feedback? Who should have worse experience? Like, who would rate it badly? Group A or Group B? A. Yeah, great. That's good. Sometimes our memory can fool us. They took the ratings from them the first time after 8 minutes, right before the end. And the group A rated highly badly, like 7 out of 10. 10 is the worst, 1 is the best. The other group give the same rating at 8 minutes, but at the end of the experience, they give it like 1. So they had a good experience. Because there's another rule called the peak end rule. When people are asked about rating their experience, rating their feedback, they get a collective average of the highest experience, highest level of experience, and the end. How did they feel about it? So sometimes when we measure engagement, we are measuring subjective well-being, the subjective feedback of people about their experience. Because usually if people are engaged, are fully immersed in their jobs, they will not respond to the surveys at that moment. So engagement is a kind of different thing. I'm not against surveys. Happy people can make happy customers. This is very fine. You can do the surveys to know the state of your employees. You can retain them. You can know their problems, but it doesn't measure engagement. Engagement is an individualized thing. It's different from Amin to someone else. It's different at different stages. Even for Amin, my drivers of engagements are changing. Yeah. Another important thing when you look at engagement is how much problems you create for your people. Have you come across the concept of the beautiful constraint? Look at Twitter. What if Twitter does not have the constraint of 140 characters? Do you think it would have been popular enough? Sometimes constraints are helpful to make people innovative. There was an experiment. They put a group of children in a garden without a fence, and they asked them to play. Know what they did? They grouped together. They didn't explore further. When they added a fence, the children started to use all the space. In order to encourage innovation at your workplace, you need to give your people constraints. This kind of open resources, I'll give you anything you want, doesn't help. You have to give them problems. And we should put people at the center. And I'm worried about the word because putting people at the center doesn't mean pampering them. Ping pong tables, sliding, that's fine, but doesn't create engagement. What creates engagement is a challenge because people find a state of flow when they have a challenge meeting mastery of skills. So in order to reach this kind of a state of flow, the more you have challenges that are corresponding to your strengths and talents and capacities, the more you're engaged, the more you feel like you are important, you're creating purpose for your organizations, you're adding value to your customers and your people. That's how you reach this state of flow. So you need to give your people more challenges. You need to ask people to solve your problems. Problems are quite helpful to engage talents and professionals. And we are idiosyncratic. Talents are idiosyncratic. Every single person is different. And there are many, many aspects about idiosyncratic talents, but I will take 2 of them. First is the strengths and the talent stage. And for the talent stage, this is an important aspect because we always speak about young talents. We want to engage young talents. We want to reel in young talents. What about you old talents? What about people at the age of 70, at the age of 60? They are probably talented enough. We're moving into a multi-generational workplace and aging workforce, so you can expect that people will stay at work until the age of 70 and 80 and probably more. My first manager was 78. I was brilliant. I was 23 at the time, and I couldn't cope with his brilliance, with his approach to technology. He was faster than anybody else. So sometimes we have gems, we have hidden gems in our organizations, and talents are different. There are different expressions of talents. When you look at the 2 dimensions, the most of the people who are working in talent management, they know the 9-grid model, 6-grid model, 4-grid model, whatever it is, but it's based on the 2 dimensions of performance and career trajectory, like people who are hungry for the next level or want to move further. And superstars are shiny. They are clear. Everybody can notice superstars. They are making noise. They are asking for opportunities. They are making troubles at work. But what about the rock stars? Those are neglected type of talents. And while I'm sharing with you this concept because rock stars are different. They are hidden and they have different expectations. They don't want to go for the next job at the next level. They probably have some other interests in life, but they want to be recognized as experts. So when you approach motivation, engagement of different kind of talents, you need to look at what motivates them and the idiosyncrasy of every one of them. When you look at the transformation model, like just quickly, there are many types of innovation organizations can achieve, but when you look at the everyday innovation on the left side, this is what people should be engaged in, and probably rock stars are playing a role here. So you need to think differently in the way you engage your talents because they are different. Look, if somebody who is a rock star imagines a superstar, or the other way around, with the concept of scientific management, how this would work. You probably need people to have more autonomy, to find a way to self-direct and self-manage themselves, so they can express their strengths. How many of you are parents? Okay, we are part of the problems. I have 2 twin boys. They are fluent in German. I'm trying to learn, but they're making fun of me. But let me explain it to you. How would you react to such a result if one of your kids coming to you with this kind of result? It's an American system, so A is the highest, F means failure. So if this kind of results are introduced to you, like art is A, science is B, English A, social studies D, math F, how would you react? Yeah, but it's in the whole world. This study was done by Gallup. In the USA, they found that more than 77% of parents focus on F. In Europe, it's more than 80%. In the Far East, it's far more. Thanks God they didn't come to the Middle East. Would it make any difference if it's the other way around? Art F, math A. Would it make any difference? It's better. You know, what kind of jobs that are going to be replaced by AI? Or what kind of tasks that are going to be replaced by AI? Jobs that are based on science and math. So sometimes we're judging the talents of others based on our interests, based on our preferences. And people are different. People are more committed, are more engaged when there is a connection between what they do and the innate strengths. I have twin boys, they're in the same family, with the same conditions, and they are completely different. In everything, in terms of the quirks, the tendencies, the preferences, even they are fraternal, so even they look differently. So even in the same house, in the same neighborhood, look at your siblings. Are you the same? You're living together for years, but you're different. Everyone has a kind of innate kind of talents. So we are more engaged when our talents are connected with our jobs, when we do things that we are passionate about, that we are created to do. That's the essence of engagement. And when you look at talent job linkage, how about the job descriptions? When was the last time you looked at your job description? This year? And how is your job? How close it is to your job description? I assume that everybody of you is doing a completely different job, a more complex, more developed, more probably challenging job than what's written in the job script, because you brought yourself in. You brought your capacity, you brought your interests, you probably took on a lot of tasks. So you've created a kind of personalized job. Now this is a key practice. Job crafting is a very helpful technique when you promote it across the board, when you encourage your team leaders to help people recraft the jobs. Accountants are not born accountants. They can do many, many different things. They have different capacities, different talents in a changing world, but people can do different things. This is one of the very good tools that I work well. Tailored Thinking is a British organization. They offer very, very nice tool for job crafting. It's called Job Compass. Well, what I like about this, it's very simple and it's entrepreneurial. It helps people to look at their jobs from an entrepreneurial perspective. So they look at how they own the job, how they can connect themselves to the job. This will create lots of opportunities for engagement. Another thing that would help people become more engaged and entrepreneurial is to look at the opportunity for experimentation. The capacity and development, we talked about the challenge and about mastery. For people to develop more capacity in what they do, they need to experiment a lot. This is a key equation for engagement. It's about ability, motivation, opportunity. So if you have the motivation, the ability, this is not enough. You need to have a space. You need to have an opportunity to practice it. You all are driving. You couldn't learn driving by just motivation and theory. You have to practice. You have to make mistakes. Experimentation is a key aspect for engaging people and giving them a sense of purpose at work. So in order to wrap things up, I know we are about just minutes. So the key aspects of English, we're going to dig deeper in the workshop for the tools and for these aspects, but challenge, flexibility, autonomy, and lots of experimentation are 4 key pillars to promote engagement at work. And let me call the quote from the Austrian father of modern management, Peter Drucker. Most of what we call management consists of making it difficult for people to get their work done. Management is an old technology. Engagement is a new technology of today. If you would like to get to know more about your strengths, you can do this quick assessment. It's high 5. You can get to know your top 5 strengths. It's just a step to know more about it, but it's definitely personalized. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks a lot. Enjoy whole conference. Thank you.